goat of Disney. I eat everything. All right, everybody, it's Cory story time. So kick back, relax, put your feet up, and get ready to listen to this one. We're not just going to report Disney news and just talk about it. I mean, that's already been done a million times. But then again, we do love Disney news. We will talk about some. This is not your grandfather's Disney podcast. So I'm watching this new thing on Netflix. Let's talk about it. So Tammy has me running all over Disney World looking for this new Loungefly. Jillian loves China so much that if she was ever lost, she would need a tag on her shirt that says, "If lost, return me to China." Jacob's my dude. Jacob is my tech man. He makes me sound good. So I am so honored and excited to launch our newly revamped podcast. It only took me 17 episodes to revamp, but it's like I say, I'm like Walt in that sense with even Epcot. Like, it's always evolving. Like, my personality is like, I get bored easily, and maybe that benefits my followers and viewers and listeners, because if I start to get bored with something, or I just feel like maybe this isn't working, what sounded like a good idea 3, 4, 5 weeks ago doesn't sound so good to me anymore. So what can I do to make a difference? So I'm going to introduce Dana to y'all, and you will hear her at least on a monthly basis to contribute now. And we're going to go ahead and have frequent guests, and that's going to be the new revamp for the podcast. And I think it's going to be a good one. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And anybody that watches the live streams will not be a stranger to my guests. And I think they'll embrace it, and I think they'll love it, and I think it's going to be a good thing. So let me introduce Dana Bauerlein. Welcome, Dana.
Well, thanks for having me, Cory. Happy to be here.
Oh, so excited to have you here. And I thought it was a good idea to add Dana, and I'm so glad that she agreed, because we met. Dana can go back to exactly how she came to discover Living in DIZ on YouTube, but we got to know her family wise, talking about our family to her through the Zoom calls. She became a DIZ Club member, and when you pay, $9.99 and up, you get a monthly Zoom call with us. And she caught my attention right away. She was amazing. Like, she comes to the Zoom calls or anything now, once you know her personally, with just unique questions and very thought-provoking questions during the Zoom call, which makes the Zoom calls even better. So yeah, so we're happy to have you. And
Well, thank you.
Yeah, tell them how you came to discover us.
Well, first, to the frustration of my family and friends with the questions, but that's what I love. I love the questions. I love, asking things, and sometimes you uncover things that people were thinking, but they were afraid to ask, etc. But I came to Living in DIZ one night, literally sitting in the chair that I'm sitting in right now, doing this lovely podcast, and I was like, I just need some Disney, because I'm a Disney person. And I went to YouTube. I said, live Disney stream. And there you were. And lo and behold, it happened that night, you were just getting onto Haunted Mansion. And I think I've told you this story, but I literally ran around my living room going, yay, 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 yay.
I remember that.
Because I am fortunate enough to get down to the parks, at least once a year, but it's always exciting, to see a live stream of your favorite rides and things like that. And so then I started talking to people about it, started talking about Living in DIZ, started watching it regularly. And then I became, I don't know, what's the entry level, monorail or
minivan, $1.99, which is a great value. I mean, it gets your name highlighted in green. It's more easily seen in the chat. And what everybody loves is the specific or special emojis that you get only to our channel.
Yes. And so I started using those emojis right away. And actually, I think I might have come in at the level higher up, but eventually I became a Patreon and everything else. And so I got invited to the Zoom calls, which people might be saying, well, why do I care about that? Well, look what happened to me. You know, I made some fabulous friends because I'm going to the parks anyway, and I live in the Chicagoland area. Um, I could actually meet up with these people. And it's through the subscriptions that I got closer to all of you. And now I can say that we are actually good friends and trusted friends. And so, you know, yeah, so that's how I came to be with you and be with your family and meet you all and your wonderful kids. And so thanks.
Oh, well, thank you as well. Definitely a blessing, to have come across the paths of you and some others. And it's just the way it is, right? I mean, it's like two different categories. We have the people that are faithful in chat every single stream. I know who they are. I see the names. Matter of fact, if I don't see a name for a couple of streams, I start to get concerned, you
Sure.
know, make sure the person's okay. And if I have means to reach out to them, I actually do. And I don't know if other streamers do that, but I actually do because I want to make sure things are fine with people. And then there's also the other perspective too. Like, did we say something to upset you? Is there anything going on? I'm just caring like that. So,
I think
but
I think one of the great things about living in DIZ is that personal connection, even if you can't afford to be a Patreon, or you just aren't sure if you want to put your credit card information out there, whatever it is, you still get the red card treatment. You still get that feeling of, oh, they care about me. It's absolutely true. And I think that that's how you're doing it better than everybody else that's streaming Disney right now.
thank you. I said something the other night or last night probably where we bring you to the magic of Disney, but I said it better than this, but we add to the fun of Disney, for just the experience we bring to everybody watching, like the connection, the humor. I don't mind a joke being the butt of a joke because I said something dumb or I did something dumb or I took out a trash can with my hip. If it makes everybody laugh and it helps the channel and it helps people have a good time, then go for it. But there's those two categories. Those two specific ones, the ones that are faithful, that chat all the time. And yes, we care about them. We know that they're there. But you can only go so far with just chatting. So the Zoom call in the beginning when I created it was just a benefit. Like, let me just put this there to justify the cost of, people uh, making people want to, or convince people to want to spend the $10 a month or the $20 a month, or $10 is the baseline for that. So let's just do it, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know how to run a Zoom call or anything like that, but I'm so glad that I did because it's become way more than I ever expected it to be. And it's like that. Every person that joins those Zoom calls, there's a personal connection with each and every one of them. And it's not even just from us, it's from you too, Dana. I'm sure it's you knowing Lawrence now
Yes.
and your friends on some level. And when you come to the park, if he's there, it's comfortable. You've spent hours with these people on Zoom. you
And I
know
think I think people might say, well, why would I spend my Thursday night Zooming with these people. What's the point of it? Or I don't understand it. I'll tell you that we usually stay on topic. There's no politics, there's no religion, there's no nastiness. We talk parks, we talk ideas, we talk uh, about the stream that happened 2 days before and ask questions. It really, really is Disney focused. And that's what I like about it. It doesn't get into um, crazy stuff like DeSantis. And, you know, we stay on target. We stay on point. And it, you know, you've said it a million times. There are things that you tell us on the Zoom calls that you don't share on the lives.
You're
That's
reading my
another,
mind.
yeah, there's another benefit to being on the Zooms.
Yeah, I trust you all that, you know, if there's something we're not going to announce, you know, until a certain date, you know, I'll tell you all, you know, with full confidence that, you know, you won't leak it out. And that's a little added perk that we can give to you all and say, hey, this is what we're doing, or this is what we're thinking. I feel like sometimes we've even thrown questions out there like, hey, should we do this? What do you think about that? There's opinions. And sure, maybe something happened on the stream last night and I'm telling y'all exactly what I was thinking, you know. And so there's definitely some stuff that you'll hear that you won't learn anywhere else. And
Yeah.
most importantly, those connections are amazing. Anybody that's on the Zoom calls, if it's within our means, whether it's just me because it's a weeknight or whatever, or it is a weekend where we can all make it, we make the absolute utmost effort to hang out with anyone that does the Zoom call. And it's not because they're giving $10 a month. It's because they've become friends now. So
Right.
we really want to make that effort. You know, I don't know if maybe most people realize it, but as the channel grows, I'm fielding weekly, and it's not easy yet, but almost like weekly now. I'm fielding, you know, 1 or 2 requests. You know, hey, we're going to be down these dates. You know, we'd love to meet you. And I was just telling Tammy a little bit ago, it stresses me out when I can't make the accommodation. If I can, then I love it. We want to meet as many people as we can, but we can't always accommodate for the days people come. You know,
Well, like
it's
you said, as
it's
pass holders, you're blocked for some
well,
days.
it's not that bad. It's not that bad. We have the sorcerer pass, so we're only blocked Thanksgiving week, mid to end of the week, and the last 2 weeks in December, and that's it. So, but what I mean is, you know, we're an hour away, and when I'm there is when I'm there, pretty much. So when people want to plan that and they really want to have a great chance at meeting us, it's got to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Saturday, pretty much. It's rare that we'll be there other days. It's just because I'm not Neil. Like I can't pop over in 10 minutes, you know.
Do you
So
think that people who pop down, uh, and of course I was going anyway, etc., but the bonus was getting to meet you and your family in person. Do you feel that most people just want to meet you, or do you feel that they want to meet the whole full circle, like all of the kids, the your me, Neil, Alyssa? Do you feel that they consider that like a one chunk thing, like they want to meet everybody?
I think that that is really close to 100% of where they want to meet the whole package.
Yeah.
Uh, I even apologize. You know, how many people do I meet during the week when I'm alone? And I say, I'm so sorry the family's not here. And sometimes I'll ask, you know, whoever I'm meeting, how long you here for, you know, and if they happen to be here on Saturday, I'll say, well, we're going to be at this park. And if you're there, you know, pop over so you can meet the whole family. And there are people that will make that effort to do that. I feel a little badly, you know, that we're not always together. So, and there's, it's so funny. It would be fun. Wouldn't it be fun, just for fun, to see a statistical breakdown of everybody, 11.5K subscribers, like, who are your favorites? And Jill's going to get a percentage.
Oh,
Tammy's going to get a percentage. I would probably just get a bigger percentage because I'm more upfront more often, but
you're you're the guy,
yeah, yeah. And then you've got Jacob. So, and Jacob has his fans. He has the Anka McDowell, who is the president of the Jacob Club. That is her man, and she lets people know.
I mean, do you want me to tell you from a personal experience how it was when I got to meet you?
Go for it.
The first week of May. So my birthday is May the 4th. Now I'm a Star Wars baby, and I say that because I really was a Star Wars baby. I
Same.
saw Star Wars in the theater when I was 6, and I fell in love with it, and I've been in love with it ever since. So I knew that I wanted to celebrate my birthday in the parks, specifically Hollywood Studios, on May the 4th. So I did that. And I knew that I was going to be with you guys on the 4th. The 5th was going to be Universal with other Zoomers, Lawrence and Catherine. And then the 6th, which was a Saturday, I didn't have anything to do. And you said, well, we're going to be in the park. And I said, well, I don't have a park ticket. And you said, well, duh, get one.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. If you think that you're going to keep up with Cory in the parks, you're crazy. Cory is like butter on a hot skillet when it comes to navigating the parks. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got his gimbal, his whole accoutrement, and then he's got another phone in his left hand, and he's looking at you guys on chat, and he's answering your questions and talking to you while he's navigating the sea of people. He's filming, he's doing all of this stuff, and he's just gone. So, not that I didn't feel special, because that wasn't my intent, but if you're coming down to think that you're going to like hang out with Cory all day, you're going to hang out with Cory all day, but Cory's working. But as Cory is doing his thing, he's going through the parks and all of this good stuff. But then there are the people, the fans. I'll call myself a fan. The family, Jacob, Jillian, Tammy, Neil, Alyssa. I got to meet Spencer, and we're all kind of like in his wake, and we're letting him do his thing, but we're all in the back, like having great conversations and chatting and all of that good stuff. So it's a little bit different than you might think, spending the day in the park with a stranger. Do you feel Cory, nervous about that when people come to see you, quote unquote, and you're doing your job, doing your business?
I actually don't. I think I'm so comfortable in what I'm doing, and those who come down to hang out for the first time, I feel like that they're there, understand what we're doing, and I'm kind of excited to show them what it's like behind the camera. I usually end up asking them at some point, like, what do you think? Is this strange for you? How different is it for you? And I just get so focused on the stream and the task and what we're doing. I just move. Sometimes the crowd will slow us down and I get a little antsy, because I like to keep our streams moving and keeping the hanging out to a limit. But if you noticed, and I'm sure I did this, where if something goes off in my brain when I'm hyper focused on the stream and there's a group behind me, and we're doing some things, I will just like stop, and then I'll kind of let everyone catch up, and I'll peel back and I'll focus on someone in the group, which hopefully I did that with you, and then come back and talk to Lawrence a little bit. And it's something that I've learned over the years with my own family. If I'm focused on what I'm doing, which they don't even care that much if I pay that much attention to them, but I will still peel back with them. If it's just us, I'll peel back. I'll talk with Jacob a little bit, say something to Tammy. I think I've crafted a way that we can, and I'm boiling it down a little bit now, where it's just the family and I, which is very rare these days. But we had to come to an agreement at some point and make sure everyone was okay with the fact that, okay, we're streaming in the park, but we still want family time. How can we do that? And I think we do a really good job of it, where Tammy and I, people see it. It's just live. Tammy and I, if we have something to say to each other, we're just going to say it. And
Yeah.
everybody can enjoy that through the eyes of our family, which is our motto. If Jillian has something to say, we say it to each other. Sometimes Jacob might feel like, oh, I didn't want to really talk to you because you're alive. And it's like, no, we always talk. So I think that translates over. I think all that time working with the family to balance things out as much as you can when you're live, I think it has trickled over to the groups where they've kind of gotten big. I still try to make it personal and peel back and talk with you all. But I think you all understand the mission too, and if you don't, you're in for a rude awakening, I guess. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't for in any stretch of the imagination mean to make it seem like you were dismissive. It's just that um you're not hip to hip, with your guests, because you do have a channel to run. And so I guess for me, I just wanted people to know that if you go down there, you can expect to be Spencer in the boat behind us yelling congaloosh on
Right.
uh, Small World. But I think you asked me at one point, you said, so how is it for you? I mean, is it better, worse? You know, and I said, you're exactly the same as you are on the lives. And I think that speaks volumes. I think that, you know, it's a person like me who has a little bit of like, I don't really know these people. You feel like your family when you're watching the stream. I felt like I was family when I was there with you. There was no difference as far as that's concerned. Um, so I think that's a feather in your cap. But how do you feel when you stream solo versus with your family? What are the differences for you? Um,
Funny you should say that, because I addressed that last night, because like I said, as the channels become popular, and maybe it's just the time of year and it'll slow down. I'm sure it'll slow down at some point, but and I have my notebook. I have a calendar. I plan out a lot of our streams. I plan them out and where we're going to go. And I've had to plot in, plenty of dinners, resort stays, who's coming down,
yeah.
because it can get overwhelming in my mind. So I need to write this stuff down, and I've been doing that, and I'm able to open it up and kind of take a glance at what's coming this week and what's coming next week. And so, you know, I said this last night. I said, so yeah, so where it's been rare since I've been alone myself. I'm even out there sometimes, and I don't plan on seeing anybody in that evening. And next thing you know, somebody sees me and now they're with me, whether it's one or two or three people. Now I'm traveling with some people. And I was like going into Magic Kingdom one night thinking, all right, I'm by myself tonight. But how does it feel? So I said this last night, and I'll stick by it. And I like both. It's like it compared to football. So on a Sunday, do I want to sit there and watch every waking moment of football with Tammy from 1 o'clock to midnight? Absolutely. If my brother was here, absolutely. I love that. But I also love watching by myself.
Yes.
And it's like for the same reasons. It's like, so if she's like, hey, I got to run some errands, I'll be gone for an hour and a half. I enjoy the hell out of that hour and a half. It's really staying intense on the games and being a little bit more focused and watching my fantasy football teams and my players and just getting even that little more enjoyment out of it. So with comparing in the parks, when people are with me, I have to still go at the pace of everybody else. Even though you say like I'm on the move, I'm on a mission, there's still a little bit of that toe line that keeps me back a little bit. Where as if when I'm by myself, it's like freedom. It's like, wow, okay, I can go where I want, do what I want, weave in and out of a crowd and just go where I want. I feel like it allows me to be a little bit more engaged with the chat. And I think, of course, they like that. And I give them a little more autonomy too, as to, hey, what do you want to do? This or this? You let me know. And all that unfolded last night. I became free at some point. And when we did, we just took off. And I've even done, the last dash for cash type of thing many nights at the end of a stream, like, okay, we have 45 minutes left, we do this and this. And I never plan that. I never go in to a stream saying, okay, we got to plan the last dash. No, that is spur of the moment. Like, it didn't even hit my brain, or as soon as it hit my brain, I said it last night. I think it was about 10, we'll say it was like 10:10, and the park was closing at 11. And I was like, you know what? Let's see if we can do Pooh, PhilharMagic, and Haunted Mansion. And we were off on a mission, and we did that. And I literally ran right out of my Doom buggy and ran. I actually had to stop at Peter Pan and jump in there because I only had about 15 seconds to get to PhilharMagic. And if we had a stickler for a cast member, they would have told me no, and that would have been a dud. So I darted into Peter Pan and had the queue to myself and get to spend time with Tinkerbell in there and just had a great time. So there's just Sharon Hecker said, your energy just comes up. I can't remember if she agreed with me or she said it first or I said it first. In Diane Grover, who's known as Grandma Grover in the chat.
Yes.
They all agreed that, yeah, there's a different energy. His energy just comes up when he's alone. And that is not saying to anybody, Neil, who listens to this, anybody that, oh, I don't want you to hang out with me because the stream is better. It's just a different vibe. And I love them both. I know I handle them both differently.
So which would be worse, to go to the park and not be recognized by anybody? Because normally you do get recognized.
Mm-hmm.
Or to have 10 people come up to you and say, we want to follow you around. Because I will say that I came home and I said, it was a fast pace, but man, I saw everything because this man knows his way through a park. So which would you pick? Would you pick kind of going back to anonymity, or do you accept that with success comes these, fans that want to hang out with you?
Well, those that want to hang out with us, it seems like most people that are involved with the Zoom calls that have gotten to know us, those are the ones that really do want to hang out, and we really do want to hang out with them, again, because we've gotten to know them.
Yeah.
Those who are just in chat, I don't want to say just in chat, those who are in chat and want to reach out and say hello in the park or whatever. There are a few that have also joined us and hung out with us. I think we've done a good job of kind of feeling things out. Even you can kind of tell if a person is a stable person or a person you'd like to maybe hang out with, even if it's just in chat.
And I also think that there are people that watch that have absolutely no desire to go to the park and hang out with your family. They want to do their own thing.
Oh yeah, and I bet there's people that, I mean, we'd be kidding ourselves, right? I'm sure there's hundreds of people, if not thousands, that love the channel, but it's not, they might take it more of, oh, if I see them, you know, I'll say hello because we do love watching them. But there's definitely a number of people that will not make the effort, you know, to come and find us or reach out, you know. But
And
you know,
and because they probably want to respect your privacy. They want to respect your time in the park. They want to respect the job you're doing, etc. Um, yeah. So
there's a level of that for sure, and there's also people that are just, um, you know, they're either starstruck or they're shy, timid, don't want to come over and disturb us, like you said. And I've gotten emails and messages before too, like, oh, I saw you in the park, but I didn't want to bother you, or I was too afraid to come over. And I always try to make sure people know that we are so approachable. You know, I love meeting people, and it's nice to be noticed and discovered by people. And it's so funny because I have such confidence in what we've created here that I feel like we have a really great product. I feel like, you know, we're the best at what we do. And I've said it before, if someone listens to this that's a creator, excuse me, I hope you feel the same way about your product too. Because if you don't, either you just don't care enough about it and it's just whatever, and you're in it for the wrong reasons.
well,
Or
Mark Cuban on Shark Tank said, if you're not willing to eat, sleep, and breathe your your baby, your dream, your job,
yeah,
you need to get out of it because it'll never be a success.
yeah. And
So,
this is a big part of our lives and a passion. And I put all as much heart and soul as I can into it while also being, you know, a person who works professionally more than 40 hours, you
yeah,
know, 50 hours a week.
I don't know where you
Excuse me.
you know, the energy for all of that. But so when you started the channel, um,
Let me just answer your question because it was
yeah,
long-winded. Um, but you know, I would rather be surrounded by my friends, you know, than be recognized, if that was your question. If it was one or the other, I'd rather, you know, hang out with our newfound friends, you know, than that. But you know, when we, oh, I know what it's saying. So I feel that way about our channel and what we put out there, and I think we offer more things on the side than any other channel does. And it's not to say we do that, it's because I want to offer those things. But with my view of where I think our channel's at, whenever we meet anybody and they say, you can see it in their face and their eyes and hear it in their words, how much they love us and what we do, and maybe we affected their lives, I become as humble as possible. I'm just like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, that's real. Like,
is
wow,
is
thank you
there
so much for watching. I appreciate that. Like, it's total, like, turn to humbleness.
is there anybody that you watch, not in the Disney space, but is there anybody that you watch that you feel the same way about, that you would subscribe, or maybe you do? No time.
Um, you mean like to the level of like change my life or
No,
anything like that?
but like all of us that are watching Living in Diz, and you know, we all have something in common. Do you have anything like that, that you have something in common with all of these people, where you watch something and maybe subscribe and would, I'm just wondering if there's anything out there that is as remarkable as Disney, that would bring a group of people together like this channel does.
That's a great question. For me, no, I can't think of anybody that, you know, I think of in that way or that highly of. I don't really follow anything on YouTube beyond the Disney community, and even that, I'm more wrapped up in what we're doing than what everybody else is doing. I'll pop into a live stream here and there of some friends, to say hello. Or there are times too where I just want some Disney, even though I'm out there, pulling out, 4 or 5 hour, 6, 8 hour streams, sometimes during the week, Tammy and I will sit down and we'll watch whoever's on, not whoever, but select few, we'll watch them and enjoy it just like everybody else does. But yeah, there's nothing that I follow really passionately like that. And there's got to be, I always say YouTube is like a magazine. If there's a subject, there's a channel or a category. So there's probably something else that brings people together. Boy, I think you'd be hard pressed though to find a Disney YouTube community that pulls people together. Is there anything? I don't know if there's anything out that might be number one that pulls people together.
Yeah, you might be right. And so you and I were talking earlier, and you said there might be some news out of Disneyland, something today.
Oh, so Disneyland Resort, this was as of yesterday. Is it yesterday? Yeah, 2 days ago. They announced their Oogie Boogie Bash dates. And so that's Disneyland's version of Disney World's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
I did
And
not know that. So theirs is called Oogie Boogie Bash.
yes.
Now, this is something that you buy tickets for. The park closes early, and then only people that bought tickets for it get to go. I'm not quite sure how it works.
That is exactly how it works.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and I have actually only done one official Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party here, like a full-on one. We did the abridged version when they brought it back after COVID, and then we did the full-on one this past year. And I'll tell you, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
What time does the park usually, like, how earlier? Because when I had the privilege of being with you and Lawrence and Catherine, and they shut down Universal at, what was it, 6?
6 o'clock for a
6
bunch of
o'clock.
middle schoolers. I'm like,
Ah,
come on,
it
come
was
on,
a
Universal.
sea of middle schoolers. So what time do the parks shut down at Disney World for Mickey's Not So Scary?
So for Mickey's Not So Scary at Walt Disney World, they allow you to come in at 7 without a park ticket. And that gives guests a little bit of time to get situated, get your Halloween bag, maybe ride a ride or two, and then the party officially kicks off at 8.
Okay, so let's back it up because I've never been to it. So without a park ticket, meaning that you've purchased admission through the Mickey's Not So Scary fee.
Yes, so you're paying your party pass or party ticket, which is good from 7 to midnight. And
about how much does that run an adult?
okay, so if you go to the Disney World website, and I know we started off talking about Disneyland, but we can cover some of the details. The difference is that they have that we don't have. But again, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is the one that happens here at Walt Disney World. And it starts on August 11th and goes through November 1st of 2023. And it's a long time. It's a long time. And I will say, since we're kind of renaming this podcast the DIZ Pod Tales from a Live Streamer, which I love, which was Dana's idea, and I love it. And so this really wreaks havoc for me because again, I used to do Tuesdays though. So we're going into this a little bit differently where we shifted our single weeknight stream to Wednesdays. This might not be so bad. So if we look into the event dates They are going to be starting from August 11th to November 1st. Here are the nights: Friday nights, Tuesday nights, and some occasional Monday and Sundays. So actually, this this is how it'll affect me. I'll tell you right now, and how it'll affect our channel going forward from August 11th.
Okay.
Basically through the end of the year, because the next party that kicks in is the Christmas party. And I think they pretty much use the same dates. So what will happen is
You mean the same days of the week?
the same days of the week. Thanks.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly. The same days of the week. So if anybody doesn't know our schedule, every other week it changes during the week. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, then Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Wednesday. So on the weeks that there are Tuesdays here, that's just going to mean that we will not do Magic Kingdom on a Tuesday, which is kind of what we're doing now unintentionally. So that's pretty cool. I try to make Wednesday nights a magic night and Tuesday night something else. So you know what? For the first time ever, I don't think we're going to be affected by the party. So yay.
Ooh.
So here's the thing about the pricing.
Yeah.
If you're really looking to save, you want to go earlier in the season. And it kind of makes sense, right? As you get closer to Halloween, people are going to want to go trick-or-treating or go to the party as close to Halloween as possible. So these prices, I'm just going to say, I'll say the adult price because the kids price is $10 less, and that's it. And in Disney, it amazes me when you are 10 years old, you're an adult in Disney.
Yep.
So that's always something. So you start off with the baseline, and I kind of chuckled at this when I looked at the pricing because August 11th is a Friday. It's the first party. Guess what? They know a lot of people want to go to that party. So it starts out for adults at $149 a person.
Okay. So what's a normal, like for me, I thought a normal admission ticket for one day in the park was about 160.
So that is when you get closer. So it kicks up from, so that first night is 149 and then it's 109 until the end of August.
But if you want to go to the park all day, go back to your hotel, take a shower, take a break, and go back to Mickey's, it's 160 or whatever it is for your park ticket. And then on top of it is the Mickey's price, correct?
Correct.
Ooh, times a family of 5, that gets pricey.
It gets pricey, and after that initial one on Friday, again, the rest of August is 109. Then the rest of September, not even.
Forget it. It must just go up astronomically.
Yeah, then from September 1st to September 15th or 17th, you are up to 119. Then it jumps to 149. And then October 3rd, it's actually, you get sprinkled in dates of 169 and 189. And it tops off at the end of the month. And they actually have one on November 1st for 199 as well. Annual pass holders do get $10 off per ticket.
What is the price
DVC members
itself? Wait, what day of the week is Halloween this year?
Halloween is on Tuesdays and it's $199.
Yikes. Okay, so it'd be $189 for kids, $199 for adults.
Yes.
Because they're not stupid. Sorry, I'm getting a glass.
I can hear you a little bit busy over there. Yeah. So
sorry.
Yeah, so that's the deal. And that brings, me to the conversation that Tammy and I just had this week. It's so funny when we have business to talk about in planning for the channel. It tends to happen on Saturdays when we're driving to the park. Maybe it's ideas I've had in my head for a while. Maybe they developed during the week. And I run it by the fam and we discuss things and we come up with decisions. I think we finally came up with the decision this year because I think we were looking at not going to any of them because you multiply it by 4, you're talking over $800.
Absolutely.
For a family of 4 for 4 hours of time, if I did that right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 hours of time for a family that lives in Disney. So,
And
yes, you're getting
what?
extra things, but is it really worth it?
Yeah,
So,
I was going to ask. So, what do you actually get for your Mickey's Not So Scary ticket? Do you get reduced crowds? I'm assuming is a huge pull.
it is. It is. That is a huge pull, and you have to decide for you and your family what is most important. Because some people do this, and I just scratch my head. They go to a party like this and pay all that money, and they're just focused on rides, which is totally okay. That's just not me. There's a special event going on. You want to get in as much as you want for your money, but again, it's okay if you want to focus on rides because maybe you feel like you have a hard time getting on the rides when the park is in normal operating hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to dress up and trick or treat throughout the park. There's designated areas where you can trick or treat. And I will say that Disney is not cheap. You get all the Hershey products, so they're really good
Ooh.
candies.
Did
And you don't just get one or two things popped in your bag. I mean, they grab a handful. And as you get to like the last hour or so, I've seen cast members grab two handfuls and fill your bag. So you always go home if you want to put the time in to trick or treat at these spots, and you can go back to these same spots as well. They're not going to skimp on that for you, so you can go home with as much candy as you want to.
do you get a trick or treat bag when you go to
You
the
do. You get a
is it
complimentary trick
a
or treat bag.
plastic bag? Is it an eco bag? Is it a canvas bag? What do you get?
Yeah, it's an eco bag. I think it switched to like eco bags recently.
Well,
So
that's cool. That's a collectible, right?
Yeah. And there's some favorite attractions that will be open. And there's also special theming on some of them.
Do they
So,
parades or anything during this or
yes. So, and I do know with like the rides, I think they do an overlay on the Mad Tea Party. There has been times where there's been actors in Pirates. So
Ooh.
you get Space Mountain in a total blackness, which we did, which was definitely scary. And if you go back on the stream, you can hear me. I think I had some funny quotes on that one.
Well, wait a minute. When you say total blackness, what do you mean? Like,
So there's a little bit of lighting here and there on Space Mountain on the daily, but when you do this ride on Halloween or during the Halloween parties, it's complete darkness.
ooh,
Yes.
ooh.
So they have the Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular. And so that's a special fireworks show. Totally Amazed is one of the best fireworks shows, just like the Christmas one. Very, very special. There's a Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular with the Sanderson sisters, which is a lot of fun. And they do a great job. You'd swear it was the Sanderson sisters.
Aw.
If you love the barbershop quartets, the Dapper Dans, they have the Cadaver Dan's barbershop quartet. And you can usually catch them over at Frontierland, which is really great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you get special characters that you will never see anywhere else, most likely for meet and greets. And you get some of the characters dressed up in their Halloween costumes. And what I think is probably the funnest thing to do there, it's the Boo to You Halloween party parade. It is unbelievable. I think it's the best parade Disney does. The characters, the music, you get the headless horseman trot down Main
Oh
Street
no.
holding his head in his hand, which is a pumpkin.
Ah, he scares me. He's my most feared character, but I love him.
Yes, you get special memory maker photos, and you also get magic shots where, if you take a photo near Haunted Mansion, you actually will see the hitchhiking ghosts beside you.
Oh,
So,
cool.
when you talk about all this stuff, does it really justify the cost? I think it almost does,
It
but
does. It does. It
you,
sounds like it does.
I don't I wonder if they could do something like the more people buy in your group, maybe you get a little more of a discount. So I don't know if it's just you, okay, if you're going to pay $199 on Halloween, maybe if you come with a family of 4, maybe you get 10 or $20 reduced off of your ticket. I don't know, but it just, and Disney doesn't need to do that either, because these parties get sold out. So Disney's not going to bend for anything. There's a lot of discounts coming out. There's a lot of pass holder love coming. And I think it probably has a little more to do with things slowing down this summer, and Disney needs the business, air quotes. So, we love Disney, trust me. But when we're hitting it from the business side, I don't know how much I think there's a level of Disney doing some things because they care and they do hear us. Disney does listen. But, they're a business. Bottom line is the dollar, and they don't have to take any breaks. But man, when you look at it, that's a lot of money for a family of 4. So Tammy has, agreed that I think it's important for the channel. Would I go to a party by myself? No, I wouldn't do that. But because we have a channel, I am going to go to a Halloween party so we cover it. And I will go to a Christmas party so that we cover it, because I think it's important to share that with our viewers. Can I see it on another channel? Yes, but they want to experience it. My people want to experience it with me. There's a level of people that want to do that, and I want to do that for them. And a little side note, we're going to get people on the channel that have never watched us before, and we may pick up a few new followers too, because it's a little bit out of the ordinary. So it works, and that's what we're going to do. And I have to decide what price level I want to pay for that.
I've read a lot in the news lately about Disney is kind of copping to the fact that they know it's not only a little bit overpriced, but it's getting very complicated. The Genie Plus, the got to get up at 7 and get your virtual queue and all of this stuff. And I appreciate that they're looking at that. But on the other hand, the parks are packed. The parks are packed. I mean, people are figuring it out, and they're coming. So
they don't stop. They keep coming.
Yeah. So why would you change anything if somebody goes, the price of admission is this, oh, but then you have to pay $22 for what used to be a fast pass for free to get on Mine Train, and I gladly paid it. It's like in for a penny, in for a pound, which is what my dad always said. And it's like, it's obviously not stopping anybody. So I don't know that they're going to make many changes in regards to pricing when you're looking at a family of 5 having to do Mickey's Not So Scary, and it's $800, because there are 10,000 people that'll pay that.
Yes. And let's be honest, if we were in the higher seats in Disney, wouldn't we be like, yeah, let's keep this going? We're making some money. People are going to pay it. For the family that can't afford it or won't spend that, there's 10 families behind them that will.
Yep. And they are probably not recovered yet from the loss during COVID. I mean, they're open 365 days a year. So to be shut down for the amount of time that they were shut down, they're certainly, the ripple effect is still happening for them.
Wouldn't this have shown a really good act of faith by Disney if they came out through all the struggles we all went through in our lives, and those that can get themselves exposed to Disney by coming to the parks, wouldn't it have gone a long way if they would have said, listen, Here it is. Lay out the numbers if you wanted to and say, listen, we lost this much money, due to COVID and being closed. We're going to raise prices here, 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 and here. But we're going to guarantee you that when we make up what we lost, we're going to return back to, post or pre-pandemic prices. Not forever, but at least for a little while. I think that would have been a really good gesture and gone a long way with the way fans or people look at Disney. What do you think?
Yep, it's the schooner tuna idea. Schooner tuna
Yes.
from
Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom.
Yes, we're rolling back.
When we get back on track, we'll resort to our, normal prices, but we're in this with you and all of that good stuff. So it makes me wonder, though, because I know every kind of demographic of people that go to Disney. I mean, I'm saying basically that I know people that don't make anything, and I know people that make a lot of money, and they're all going to Disney.
They are. And you wonder, you hear about the struggles in the country and around the world, and how so many people, have to tighten their belts, but yet it doesn't slow the crowd. How are all these people finding a way to come to Disney? I guess that's each individual's thing. You're taking out a loan, you're racking up your credit cards, others can just afford it and save and come. And I guess it's all walks of life. And if you want to come to Disney, you're going to find a way.
And now, when I was a kid and I went to Disney, it was Polynesian contemporary. And that was it. People weren't staying in Kissimmee. People weren't staying in, this and that. When you went to Disney, you stayed at a Disney resort. And then they built the Grand Floridian, and then we stayed there and all of that good stuff. I didn't pay for it. My aunt did. God bless her soul. But I think the lion's share, I think people can wrap their minds around the admission price. What they can't wrap their minds around are the resort prices. But like I said, if you stay in Kissimmee, if you stay on International Drive in Orlando, there are so many more affordable places to stay. And if you just eat cheap in the park, you can make it work, I think.
Yeah, there's ways to do it for sure. There's strategies to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, whole nother thing. Maybe we can talk about that some other time.
Okay.
If you're about to start planning your next Disney vacation, book it with Your Magical Adventures Await. Claudia is creating Disney adventures worldwide. She could create a magical adventure to Walt Disney World, Florida, any Disney park worldwide, Disney Cruise Lines, Aulani Resort in Hawaii, and guided group vacations with Adventures by Disney. Also, she is a Universal Studios expert. If you book with her, her services are free. Disney pays her to help you create a seamless, magical adventure. Her availability is really unmatched. You can contact her Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Make your magical planner, Claudia Inderson, from Your Magical Adventures Await, 956-455-8049. You can also reach her on Instagram, Claudia Inderson, all one word. For more details, go to livingindiz.com to check out her ad there. Thinking about wanting to live near Disney? With over a decade of helping people find the home of their dreams, Victor is the perfect realtor of La Rosa Realty Horizons to help you find the home of your dreams. Go to DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. That's DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. So if you're interested to moving near the magic, once again, contact Victor Naraki at DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com and let him know that Living in Diz sent you. That'll do it for another week of the DIZ Pod. Make sure you check us out on the Swell app. That's SWELL. We broadcast and drop 5-minute podcasts throughout the week, with the most consistent one being the post live stream walkout from wherever we live streamed during the week. And you can usually count on those within the next 30 minutes of going off the air. And again, we drop every Monday, 9 a.m., a full-length podcast right here where you're listening to, and we hope you continue to follow and enjoy. If you want to contribute in any way, you can do that right on Spotify with ad-free sponsorship. You can also check us out over at YouTube, our channel Living in DIZ, and in the description of any video there, go to the live streams and the replays and click on those, and you will find links for becoming a DIZ Club member and also becoming a Patreon. There's so much to see over there. Check out our website, livingindiz.com. So many great things going on over there. You want to check that out. All you want and need to know about the members of the channel. You can sign up for our email list there so you're alerted anytime we have news, with an extended schedule of our live streams. It's a 3 live stream lineup. Those are typically updated every single Saturday morning. And please send us some questions. We'd love to read them on the air here at livingindiz@gmail.com. For Mushu, Jacob, Jillian, Tammy, I'm Cory from Living in DIZ. Thank you so much for being dedicated to our family, our channel, our podcast. Thank you so much for allowing us to be your ticket to Disney, and we'll see you in the parks.